What's up, bitch?
Lindzon!
Looking good. Got the fucking coif going.
What's a coif?
The hair's all gelled out. It's like you're a fucking teenager.
That's how the kids wear it these days, Lindzon.
I could do that.
Don't you, what do you say about your millennials? You
Avocado munching millennials.
What is it that you do? You've invested in 2 millennials? What is it that you say?
Well, I own and operate 2 millennials.
You own and operate 2 millennials.
Always, it doesn't matter who the audience is, that gets a laugh.
It's funny. It's funny.
That's why comedians, it took me 54 years to get one good joke, and now you got to build the rest of the routine.
Yeah, you need new material now, Lindzon.
More material, not new.
Fair. What are you trading? Just flipping software stocks left and right, just slinging them these days with the Robin Hood crazies? Yeah?
Yeah, I just added some stone today. I mean, like Brazil is literally falling into the ocean, and the stocks are going up, so it's got to be bullish.
Brazil?
Yeah, the president has COVID now too. The guy is like fake. He's like the Trump of Brazil, and the stocks are doing fine. Like the digital companies are doing amazing.
I feel like, what part of the cycle does Lindzon start telling me about emerging markets? What part of the cycle is that?
No, Mercado Libre has done well for 100 years,
True.
Right? Yeah,
True.
so it's not. I'm not bullish on Brazil. I'm bullish.
Oh, okay, fine. But you're talking about but Mercado Libre is it's a Lindzon stock through and through, simply because of a function of what they do. So that's less about emerging markets and more about
digital assets. Rare digital assets is all I care about.
Did you see what we're doing with Robinhood, where we're scraping all the stuff and, we're able to bring in short interest and other things that we have, we're able to filter out by volume and by market cap and liquidity. So we're only getting certain signals.
Who's doing that work? Who's doing that work?
Thomas. Yeah, Thomas, Thomas is he's a coder. He's not a market guy. He thinks he is because he invested in Bitcoin once or something like that, and he wants to be because he sees us doing all this stuff. But his heart is really in the coding. Fortunately, we have a great team, and we know what we want. He just needs to be told what to build, right?
Yeah, you guys are kicking ass. Listen, if I was your age, I'd be doing exactly what you're doing.
So this was 3 weeks ago, and this is what we call the upper left. So this is a bubble chart. And on the x-axis down here, this is the drawdown from new 52-week highs. So the ones that are furthest to the left are the closest to new highs. The ones furthest to the right are the furthest from new highs, right? Hence all the energy down on the right side. The y-axis represents the return since June the 5th. So this was 11 days, because this was June the 15th when was this chart. So it was 11 days, which the market was correcting. So the internals of the market peaked on June the 5th and had been correcting the whole time. So we're looking for relative strength during the market correction, as well as drawdown from new 52-week highs. So in other words, the upper left are the names that have the least drawdown, closest to new highs, and at the same time.
You run this when you think the markets are oversold,
we run different scans different times. In this case, what we were looking for was the names that were holding up the best while the market was correcting in June. And as it turns out, it was the same names that we've been all over that have been showing the relative strength since February and March. Look at the names. Can you see that? Social media, software, biotech, cloud computing, semiconductors, right? Same old names. So we've been sticking with that theme the last 3 weeks, because remember, this was 3 weeks ago. We've been sticking with that theme the last 3 weeks, and those are the names. We continue to see it.
Oh, that's a cool chart. I've just been following the price actions, fucking biotech, genetics, software, semis.
Yeah, but you want to know something? Let me show you something cool. Look at what the shitty sectors are doing. So these are the worst of the worst: financials, industrials, energy, and even they are holding above support. Can you see that chart?
Yeah, so it's like there could be a rotation at work.
Well, it's less that there could be a rotation and more of the fact that we don't even want to short the shittiest ones. One thing to watch is, I know you hate looking at financials and shitty banks, but look at XLF at 23. If you start to see XLF holding below 23 for a few days, then we have a problem.
Yeah, today was the first day it closed below.
It's right there. You know, if you start seeing that hanging out below, then we're probably in for some turmoil. Even if, you know, it's a sideways choppy mess. That's how I look at it. But look at the NASDAQ today. We're recording on Tuesday, the 7th of July. You know, market got hit today. Stock sold off. NASDAQ was almost flat.
Yeah, I mean, all these banks are on borrowed time, right? It's all PayPal and Square. Fucking Square.
Do you own it?
No, I mean, I own a few shares. I just hate him, but you know, it's so obvious. Look at that fucking.
Why, you don't think he's a good CEO? Seems like the stock's going up.
No, but I think it just goes to show you that no one wants to own the banks, but the young kids are using Square and Venmo, right? So
I use Square and Venmo every day.
Yeah. So and Stripe, which isn't public.
Well, no, I don't use Square. I use Stripe. Yeah, not Square.
So yeah, I mean, I just think Square is going to buy Twitter and compete with Robinhood. I've been writing about it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he'll buy the company. He's run Twitter into the ground, so he'll just buy it. And look at that breakout on Square, though. That stock's going to like 200.
But again, it's been all about that mobile payments. You know,
that's why I went long Stone. That's why I went Stone and PAGs.
Stone and PAGs.
These are like Stitch Fixes. Yeah, I'm starting to play like laggards because my big ideas have all run so much. So I'm just taking some profits and buying. Stitch Fixes is my other one. It's just such a laggard e-commerce.
What's the ticker?
SFIX. It's such a laggard e-commerce play, but as COVID carries on, they're just gonna. It's just got that same pattern, like Spotify had, Square had it before it went straight vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah, market turns around. These things are, they're just not that great. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a good comparison. These charts look like Spotify before the breakout.
And Square.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like exact clones. Now, they're not as strong, but if money rotates into the next wave of like winners, these things will just fucking.
And God forbid. And so here's what we're toying around with internally. I'll send you. We're finishing our quarterly report as we speak. I'll send it to you. But it's interesting if the dollar tops and we start to get rotation into emerging markets, these things can fly. And we're seeing copper strength and stuff like that.
Dollar weaker helps them.
A dollar weaker, listen, do emerging markets need a weak dollar to outperform? Probably not, but it fits really, really nicely in a weak dollar environment that we get rotation into commodities and emerging markets. Precious metals keep doing well. Silver continues to take over that precious metals leadership, that whole emerging market, global growth story playing out with a spin of internet. Man, forget about it. Look at the Chinese internet. Look at K-Web, right? And look at names in there.
Baba and Tencent. Those are the only two I'm long.
Look at those names. What are we talking? We're mixing emerging markets. Look at Alibaba breaking out of a multi-year base.
I own it.
You know what I'm saying? So if your Brazil story is an extension of that, and if these continue in that direction, which there's no indication that we're going to see that stop anytime soon. I think the ideas you presented, although they haven't broken out, maybe we look back a few months from now and be like, there it was. Lindzon got one right.
I got a few right. Baba's the first to truly, considering how hated it is.
What do you mean hated? What does that mean? Why do you say it's hated?
Well, I mean, look how China, look how long that base is, right? And now you got the gap.
The bigger the base, the higher in space.
That's what I'm saying.
Classic.
That's what I'm saying. You have the funky structure of the company. No one trusts it. And the thing's going to go to
Baba?
$1 billion. Yeah, Baba's going to go to $1 trillion, right?
Yeah, but what does that mean, trust? No, they don't trust Tesla either. That thing keeps ripping. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm just saying that base of Baba is that's set to go to 500.
Listen, we learned that in technical analysis kindergarten. Big base. We call them Kardashian bottoms, right? Like just big bases, and they take off.
Yeah, that is just. So you want to do a quick show?
I thought this was it.
Oh, are you taping it?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been taping it?
Well, that big thing that says recording at the upper left of your screen?
That's hilarious. have we said, oh, I've said many inappropriate things. You can't post this.